Lesson 13B. In this video, I will work example 2 from the quadratic formula note sheet. So in number 2, we are asked to solve this quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. Now, one thing I may not have mentioned in class is you need to set the equation equal to 0 before finding A, B, and C. Because the quadratic formula only works for quadratic equations that are set equal to 0. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is take 1, move it to this side, and negative 2x and move it to that side. So to do that, I'm going to add 2x to both sides, and I'm going to subtract 1. That will give me 2x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. So once you have the quadratic equation set equal to 0, then you can pull out A, B, and C. So in this problem, A is equal to 2. It's the coefficient of x squared. B is also equal to 2, so that's the coefficient of x. And C is equal to negative 1, because that's your constant term. So plugging these into the quadratic formula, remember it's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that's going to give me negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 1. And that's all over 2 times 2. So I plugged everything in. Now it's a matter of working through using my order of operations. So negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4. Now be careful here. This is one of the most common mistakes made in the quadratic formula. This is a minus, and one of my terms is negative. So it's going to change that minus now to a plus. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 1 is positive 8. And that's all over 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. All right, so I'm going to continue to work on this. That's going to be negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 12 all over 4. And now remember what we talked about in class. Before I can even think about simplifying this fraction, I need to first simplify this radical. So that will take us to the work we were doing in class on simplifying radicals. So the square root of 12, if I break this down into my prime factorization, it's 2 times 2 times 3. So that's going to be the square root of 2 squared times the square root of 3. And the square root of 2 squared, well, the square root and the square cancel each other out, so you're just left with 2 times the square root of 3. Another way to think about it is that 2 squared is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. But once you take the square root's gone, so that number is in front of the radical, and then what's left is the square root of 3. So that's kind of our side work to simplify the square root of 12. So now we can put that back into our fraction. So we're going to have x is equal to -2 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 3 all over 4. So now that my radical's simplified, I can think about simplifying my fraction. And remember, for a fraction to be able to be simplified, you have to be able to divide the number into this, the number in front of the radical, and that. All three of those are divisible by 2. So that's going to give me 2, if I pull that out front, times -1 plus or minus the square root of 3 all over 4. So this 2 cancels to 1, that 4 cancels to 2. So I have two answers, -1 plus the square root of 3 over 2, or x equals -1 minus the square root of 3 over 2. Now, some of the problems in ALEKS are going to actually ask you to find the decimal approximation for these. So you're going to enter these in your calculator, but you need to be very careful because you need to put this in parentheses before you divide by 2 if you're going to do it all in one step. Or you can do the numerator, hit enter, and then divide by 2. But if you don't do one of those two things, it will give you the wrong answer. So enter it in your calculator, see what you get. If you got 0.37 for this one, then you entered it correctly. And when you do -1 minus the square root of 3 over 2, you should get -1.37. And I did round those to the nearest hundredth or to 2 decimal places.